Hi, this is Brian at ParadiseArcadeShop.com. Today we're going to go over how to rotate your monitor screen without removing it from the cabinet. Here we have a Wells Gardner 7000 series monitor mounted in our cabinet with the game board picture appearing upside down. This image clearly needs some other adjustments like horizontal width, horizontal positioning, and vertical positioning, but we'll deal with that at another time. Please do not attempt any of these repairs with a system that is turned on. Make sure that power is turned off and that your system is unplugged from the wall. This is what the monitor looks like from the back of the cabinet with the back of the cabinet removed. Let me take a minute to point out a few things on the back of this chassis. On the left, the large box you see with two white knobs is the flyback. This controls the high voltage going to the tube or the monitor. The two knobs here control focus and brightness. If you want your screen to be brighter, you can adjust this, or if you don't feel the screen is focused enough, you can also adjust this here. Some monitors have silicone on these to hold them in place. You don't need that, they don't move. You also might want to check to make sure that this isn't cracked, but you can go over monitor rebuilds in another tutorial on other websites. The cables to the left of that, the black and white, are the power to the monitor. Directly above it, the red fitting you see is a ground going to what's called the neck board, which is the large cardboard rectangle you see in front of you. Off behind the neck board, the red high voltage line going to the monitor, you'll see a blue, red, green, and yellow wire. These are the wires that control the orientation of the image that's presented on the tube. These are the wires that we'll be concerned with today. Up above here you can see where the high voltage line connects into the CRT. Make sure that if you ever disconnect this that you properly discharge, as the cathode ray tube can act as a giant capacitor. The actual board of the chassis is only attached in on the 7000 series with two bolts seen here on the right and left. Removing these bolts and possibly removing one of the ground attachments will allow you to slide the chassis back and make adjustments to the board. You also see the wires carrying the RGB sync and ground from the game board to the chassis. These are on the right hand side. This plug can be disconnected and reconnected. Just please remember the configuration it was plugged in originally. Now for the fun. We'll remove the first bolt holding the chassis in place. Now for the second bolt. Please make sure that you don't allow the monitor chassis to slide back. Have something to hold it in place while you remove the second bolt. There was one tube ground that we had to disconnect here in order to allow the chassis to slide freely. As you can see, the chassis slides right out once this is disconnected, and you have easy access to the wires that will allow you to adjust the orientation of your monitor. They're seen here in this shaky image as the red, blue, green, and yellow wires. You want to think of these wires as wire pairs. The red and the blue go together, the green and the yellow go together. By rotating each of them, you'll rotate and flip the image, making it upright and in the proper direction on the screen. In other words, you're going to change the position of the red and the blue, flipping them, and change the position of the green and the yellow, flipping them also. You can see the wires plugged back into the board after they were removed, rotated 180 degrees, and plugged back in. Please note that before, the wire order was blue, red, yellow, green. Now the order is red, blue, green, yellow. These connections simply unplug and plug back in. After the chassis is reattached and the ground connection is made, we go back to the front of the monitor and notice that the screen is now in the proper orientation. The horizontal width, position, and vertical position have not been corrected, but these can also be adjusted, and if you need help with this, please feel free to email us and we'll email you links to the proper tutorials. We hope this tutorial was helpful, and we hope that you are able to enjoy more games because of it. Many classic JAMA games do not have an automatic screen flip or a dip switch to allow screen flip. Therefore, this type of hardware modification is necessary in order to enjoy some different games. Mahalo, and have a great day.